Hey everybody, not that anybody's here yet, but I'm just going to be doing this for a bunch of reasons. One, all those you know that I was been gone for a while, actually 30 days about to this day. However, there were a bunch of people that really reached out, and I want to thank those people that took the time, to do that, in their busy day and schedule. And I'm going to be mentioning those as well as other things to talk about that some conclusion I just came to with the time off. And the time off was extremely beneficial in many ways, actually. And I'm going to be going through some of that too. If you were watching, please tell me where you're watching from and who's watching. And hopefully, some of the guys that did reach out are watching, so I can give them a public acknowledgement while they're watching. At any rate, there were a couple things. Oh, thank you, Maestro Alvin. The offer's still there. If you ever want to come back, come on. I hope that you do. Uh, Take me up on it at some point. You certainly have a lot to offer to the community, and you should be heard. So, and I think other people feel the same way as I do. But at any rate, so let's get into the people that I want to thank that really reached out, and I was really just touched by these people. And they are as follows. Okay, no particular order. Um, so Paulo, Paulo's man. What, I'm gonna be really talking about Paulo a bit here. And one, I've just not had an individual solely, a couple close that just really has done really for me in the channel, and just the support early on and ever since this. And I'm just so grateful for him. And he was in Utah with at his Jared's seminar, and he reached out. There were a thousand other things he could have done, and it was just so great to hear from him because him being an incredible content creator, amongst other stuff, I feel he's a genius. Um, just that sometimes in our position, it could be a lonely spot. And, somebody that really understood and that. And yeah, so yeah, Paulo was just great. And what really bothers me, one of the things I'm going to talk about later is this group mentality. But before I get to that, I want to get through their names, but you'll see when I tie Paulo into this in there. Chris Chu is the next person. One of the first people who reached out and just sent me a bunch of text messages and stuff like that. It was just really good guy. I love his father, Bruce. Just a there. Next organization, Bikini Detergent International. Tuan Bill McGrath emailed me, Jack Latour, and Coach Danny. So what an organization Tuan Bill runs there. The big three. Reached out. Elric Jr., another guy who I just have such profound respect for, called me from the Philippines a few times. Just really, want to have his way, see how I was doing and stuff. Jason Ward, another one, just, great. And probably, Brandon Ricketts, just incredible teacher in so many regards. A lot of this had to do with the KI mess, the reason why I left. And he remained completely neutral and didn't jump to conclusions, by saying, oh, for his age, leading a faction, Brandon Ricketts is just didn't jump on the bandwagon and didn't believe. One of the things, I'm going to say this now, which is actually just disgusting, is that I helped Burton do his KI thing, and I was humbled and honored that Burton chose me. He could have chose numerous people, and some of the folks were saying that by me training with different folks, that I was giving Burton information for his program. Now, any of these idiots saw how Burton moves and I move completely, distinctly different. Thank God Brandon didn't believe it and thought it was ridiculous. But that just shows you the mentality, what was going on. Just disgusting. Joe Hungar actually made a YouTube video and sent it to me. Just incredible. Nick Merchant. I'm going to go through my students have just been incredible. Nick Merchant, Arnold, Jay, Nelson, Eric. Just incredible students that called me, reached out. Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Numerous times. Just so lucky to have students like that. Who else here? Kevin Go, just a great guy. He was like, screw them, take your break. They know these guys should be saying anything about you. Renee, who was just on, reached out. Great guy. Tim Hartman, another one, just phenomenal guy. And Martin lives in Canada. I'm going to do an abomination on his last name, so I'm not going to even attempt it. But, reached out, just another exceptional human being. There were others too, but these are the folks that really just elaborate messages, heartfelt, nothing, not to put down the other ones that they were, just as thoughtful and all that, but these are ones that were just really just incredibly thoughtful and significant and caring. I want to go back to where I was about Paulo. This is what really aggravates me about this community. So, and this is kind of twofold where you have, in other words, problem resolution. In other words, one of the things I realized or really came further illuminated was folks that they can't just go to the source. They have to get a nucleus of folks. They have to create a narrative, which is usually has erroneous conclusions to it. And they have to get others because they need people to believe in their narrative. They just can't do it themselves. And what they end up doing is, so they do this. Not one of these people, though, will just reach out to the person. And this is all kind of tied in with what happened with me and what's kind of going on also with one of my teachers. And you can probably figure it out who that is. And it's just rotten. Just gang up mentality. It's just rotten. There's, it's gone beyond policing. It's, what I mean? It's just, and I'm probably going to lose a couple people, as friends and whatever, but I'm just tired of, which I kind of was talking to Renee about, being caught in the middle and being a doormat. Like, I don't get paid to do this. Okay. I do this on my own time. I fulfill the need, which I explained several times. Avoid FMA as a whole didn't have a voice. And and so I'm not the doormat and not going to be. And so with this time off, there was a lot of self-reflection on my part, like, you don't need to take this anymore. And I've never been one of those people, to be brash and I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Far from it. But I am saying this. I am going to be fighting back. I'm just tired of it. But I'm not going to get ignorant. I'm not going to lose sight of who I am. But I'm just not going to take crap anymore, But back to Paulo. So I kind of digressed. So what really bothers me about these guys with Paulo, these guys will sit in the group and they'll say this about me or Paulo, whoever else, for example. But yet, if you look at what they do for the community, it's zero. And if you look at and I'm using Paul as an example now, look at this guy. This guy's going all over the place, doing things, puts a helmet on, shows his failures, doing what he can for self-exploration, growing himself, just bringing FMA as a whole, to the world and all this. And you have these guys that will actually talk about him, critique that, and they're doing zero. It's like, shut your mouths. And I'm just tired of it. And the same goes for generally speaking, there's a lot of folks that are against him that also, they're same ones against me. We have similar enemies, so to speak. But these are guys that I've never seen with a helmet on, are doing anything. They get in their own little cliques and it's about like who knows what and this and that. And I know these groups exist because somebody was telling me, and I've come up many times as well as I'm sure Paul has, and it's just crap. Like until you do what he's doing for the community, just shut your mouth. I mean, really, just shut your mouth. And I'm just tired of it. And it's and I want to bring this to light because how else we're going to get to a potential solution, right? So with that being said, you know, when you look at people that are doing good for the overall community and putting their time or not getting paid or and making selfless contributions from their family and all that, and you're sitting there critiquing them and your group and making fun of them, it's like you got a sad life, in my opinion. The other thing is there was a rumor going around that from the channel, the money the channel made, I kept it. All the money that the channel made was given to charity. I kept nothing of it. Matter of fact, I lose, it's not a lot of money. I lose $20 a month out of the gate with Be Live cost. Chose to do it. Not complaining about it, my choice. But for people to say I was keeping the money and making money off this, again, just, yeah, disgusting. The other thing is, amongst some of this other stuff going on, is we were kind of selective of who we gave charity money to. First of all, it was most of the money went to Children's Foundation, orphanages, and all that. There was one time we did give money to some of the sick masters and all that. But again, all went to charity, kept nothing of it. Okay. So I don't know where that's coming from and all that. The other thing I want to talk about is I never claimed to have not made mistakes on this channel. I can tell you right now, honestly speaking, there are some questions and interviews I probably shouldn't have asked. And I hold myself accountable to that. I could have definitely rethought them, maybe went about it in a better way, thought it more out, and that some of those questions did cause controversy. Of course, last episode, Mark Wiley, I can honestly say there might have been a question or two, perhaps maybe I shouldn't have asked, depending on, I guess, how you look at it. However, though, there were folks who had some serious issues with some of these questions. But again, back to what I was talking about, no going to the source, none. It was just they're getting these groups and they're going to go on the tirade and this and that, but not one phone call to Mark Wiley or to me. Like, hey, Dean, I don't really agree that you should ask that question. I'm like, hey, thank you for reaching out to me personally. I really respect you doing this and all that. I'm really giving some serious thought to what you said, and you're right. And thank you again. But none of that. Just getting in your groups and let's get a group effort mentality and let's just go after this person and all that. And guess what? No solutions. None of that. These guys have not made any headway. Nothing has improved. There's been no status quo improvement from the base on the way they're handling. Nothing, zero, no improvement. Actually, it's just the same in that. So it just goes to show you that reach out to the person. Here's the thing, even if you don't get maybe the response that you wanted or the resolution that you hope for, at least you can look in the mirror and say that, hey, you know what? I reached out to this person. I tried. And all that. Isn't that better than going to a group and like just gossiping and talking about that? And that's why in this first episode, I chose to bring Renee and the Dog Brothers because I just have such admiration for them and the way they don't act. And I think, we can learn from that. And not that everybody, the group, I'm talking about specific people in groups. And some of you guys kind of know who I'm talking about. And that. And the correlation, which I'm also going to be discussing on Thursday with Renee, that I've had talks with Paulo about, if you look at these particular people that I'm speaking of, like no videos of showing them, adversity, failures, nothing, And now I want to really clarify this. If you don't talk or you don't speak badly, but that's your thing, you prefer just to do the drills in the art, man, I think that's fantastic. However, though, don't talk about other people and bring other people down in your groups and all that when you're not even doing anything like that. And again, using just Paulo as an example, like, these people are just so jealous of him. And I'm going to tell you why they're jealous of him too, and how I know they're jealous of them. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there are times I've been jealous of Paulo, healthy jealousy with a heavy dose of admiration. Meaning, like, I'll sit back, like, how did he come up with that so fast without planning or thinking about it? And I'm sitting here staying up all night doing this, and but in admiration. But I'll be honest, there are times I'm like, man, I wish I could be like him. So I could say a slight jealousy. So I know all those other folks are definitely jealous of what he's doing. So what do you do when you're jealous and you're not like, so you're going to go to your groups and all that? Here's another thing too I'm starting to do, and I did it today for the first time. I was kind of proud of myself because I wouldn't have done this before this break. I wouldn't have done this. So this one group show tried to put their post-FMA discussion when they were clearly bad-mouthing FMA discussion, clearly bad-mouthing it on a podcast. So they wanted to put their episode in there. And for the first time, I declined it. I know it's for some of you guys, it's a small thing, but it was a big step for me. Like finally just like, hey, I'm putting my foot down and that's it. And I don't think I would have done. Matter of fact, I know I wouldn't because I didn't do it. So again, to mention, like with the time off, it was very healthy and a lot of, I don't want to say soul searching. I mean, it was only a month, but just reevaluating like my core, reevaluating like what I'm going to tolerate and what I'm not going to tolerate, reevaluating my time and what am I doing for the community. And don't get me wrong, the majority community has been wonderful, absolutely. It's unfortunate some of these bad apples, they're so toxic that it can be consuming, especially something like me. It can really get the best of me, to be quite honest with you. Sometimes I have a difficulty separating, And so with this time off, I think I'm in a better place to start doing that, like, hey, enough's enough. And I'm just not gonna like just take this. And I'm tired of being the doormat. Like what happened with this thing, the last episode, it's like, like, why didn't you go to the person or why didn't you come to me and ask me, like, could you change that or could you delete that or why did you ask that? Or, I mean, anything of the sort, like, and there's a great deal of hypocrisy going on right now with this whole thing. And it's really bothersome, and I'm just, I'm just tired of it. So, yeah, but just again, this is why, just so much profound respect for somebody like Paulo. Just, yeah, that's somebody that does what he does. And you're sitting there in a group talking about when you give zero to the overall community, not your own niche, your little group of, little group there of cronies, but zero to the overall community is in there. I never brought this up and all that. I put money in my pocket for this channel. I've donated money over the seas for folks over there. Was happy to do it. Ran the raffles. I donated about 2,000 my own personal hours, give or take, in the last, like, it's going to close. Well, October will be 48 months. So minus the month I took off, probably like 45 months or so, that I donated time away from family and stuff, where, believe me, my priors were questioned here at home, I'm not going to lie on that. And then to have these people like say, like, I don't like what Dean Franco does. I don't like that. It's like, really, what are you doing for the community? Or I don't like what Paulo does. You know, he's running his mouth and this and that. And it's just, until you do or contribute to the overall community, I don't think you really have a say. I don't think you should be saying anything, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You know, now if you're contributing to a community and you're doing something and it's noticeable and you have some positive effect on the community, well then yeah, I think you should I think you have a right to speak your opinion and give some dialogue on that. But without doing that, I think you should just be sitting in the corner and not saying anything. It's just my opinion, you know. But yeah, but I just want everybody to know I'm not angry, you know. I'm not like have vendettas against anybody. I'm not gonna lie, there's a few people that don't want to have anything to do with and all that, and certainly not gonna let them use FMA discussion to promote their stuff when they were bad mouthing it. I mean, that, you know, and just to think about that, like, you know, you talked about it in this group, they try to put one of their interviews in it. I'm just thinking like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, I could never do that. Like, talk about something. Well, first, I don't talk about people in groups anyhow. That's something I don't even do. But yeah, the next thing I want to do is the moderator. So there was talk that I just kicked moderators out. Nope. I did let a couple go because they were affiliated with a person who left, and not to cause divide and conquer between them. I thought it'd just be easier because they were caught in the middle to let them go. And here is the actual message I sent them. If you can read this or not, I'm not sure, but this was sent to the following folks. And again, it was more or less because they were kind of friends. So I figured it'd just be easier for them to do that. And I explained this all to them in this message, how it was going on. So I just did not just tell them they're gone without reason. I don't do that. And it's right there. So the rumors going around, and one of them, I guess, started, I'm not sure. You hear so much different things, you don't know what to believe anymore, you know, is that they're saying, a few people are saying that, well, Dean just kicked out people and just removed them. That's not the case. That's not what happened. One person I removed, yes. And you guys can probably figure out who it is. These folks, I did not just kick out, okay? So, so here it is. It's right there. Okay. So I just want to know, like, I would never handle moderators like that. People that donate their time. Ask Martin, who I think was saw it here. Like, you know, like Martin still, I mean, I have nothing, I mean, I love Martin and all that, but Martin wasn't in the mix. That's why I didn't remove Martin. Phil wasn't in the mix. That's why I didn't remove Phil. I removed the people that I thought were going to get caught in the middle of stuff. Okay. Again, right there. All right. So, and I'm glad, you know, I was reluctant to do this because I don't like just coming on here and just talking if I don't have a guest. Actually, I'm not really used to doing it, to be honest with you. Paul was really good at that. I'm not so good at that, but but this is really helping me to kind of vent and just reassure myself that, like, this is how I need to be. I need to be more proactive in advocating for myself and just having clearer boundaries and just not letting people, like, just think they can do whatever and say, or, you know, make me the scapegoat or the doormat. So, yeah. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else. What else? Yeah, so status quo. Obviously, I'm back. I'm going to kick off Thursday night. I have some episodes I felt terrible about that I had to postpone due to me just going. Those are priority. I definitely want to get those guys back. Darcy was one of them. Jack Latour on his camp. Actually, I have the list right here. And where is it? Somewhere here. Got papers all around here. Not very organized. Here we go. Miguel Ruby, I'm hoping he comes on. New York Dog Brothers, I'm supposed to get them on. Joe Hungar about his book. him, and it's a few others. But yeah, so my priority is to get those folks that I unfortunately had to cancel. So I want to get those guys back. I really felt bad about that, but I needed the break. I was just, yeah, it just, if I could have, continued or worked through it, I would have done it. But I'm telling you, I really needed a break. I just, to be honest, internally, I was starting to fall apart. I'm not, to be honest, so I'm glad I did. I really needed it. And it's been illuminating. It's been actually refreshing. Um, Powell told me this a while ago to do this, and he's been right about so many things. And I probably should have took his advice some time ago and did this. As opposed to waiting till something broke or something really happened. I probably should have just did it sooner. Maybe I would have been. I might have benefited from it. It might have been more beneficial if I had done that, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I did it now, and like I say, it was the best thing I probably have done. But I did miss. The reason why I came back is for a multitude of reasons. One, I generally do like talking to people and giving their chance to share their story, their journey. Also, I like the interface and the whole thing with working with people and kind of coordinating stuff like that. Like that. I like that as well. I miss that. But the interviews, I really, I really do. I really do enjoy this. So those are reasons and all that. I pretty much have came back. I don't know if you guys saw the FMA discussion. Paul, so clever and really good at making things like that. But he made this really funny thing, and I posted in there. You probably saw it. It's people with stage and just unbelievable. But just like. And that's why, just again, I know I'm talking about Paulo a lot, but like he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like everything he's got going on in his life, he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, he's just such, and it really bothers me when people talk about him. It really does. And I don't like people talking about my friends. I just don't. And yeah, I'm gonna start handling that too. So you might see a new dean, but not one that's going to be like, wow, he changed. No, nothing like that. I'm not going to change. I am who I am, but I'm going to be more assertive and advocating for myself and not letting people just step on me all over me and and all that. Also, if you're kind of friends with folks that have done that with me and I give you the cold shoulder, don't take it personal. It's just that if you're friends with some of these people and what they've done, calculating and like omissions and just flat out lying, yeah, sorry. I don't understand how you can be affiliated with people like that. This is just my value system. You know what I mean? To me, that's like if people have bad character like that, I don't know. It's just, yeah. So I just, I gotta be honest. Especially omissions and lying, where you make you provide just your side of it, completely omitting the other side to make yourself look better, then to get other people on top of it to get around you, and you are friends with people like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That just doesn't gel with me. That's just yeah. So and yeah, so yeah, I just it's hard for me to like have you in my inner circle, so to speak. That might sound stupid, but I don't know how else to phrase it, because that's character flaws, man. I don't care. Like that's not right when people do that, And if you're not, and matter of fact, if you're a friend of them, you should be holding them accountable. If you're a true friend and saying, "Hey, man, I would want somebody to do that to me if I did something wrong." Matter of fact, if there's things I've done wrong on the show, I would want people to come to me. Why? So I can improve my status, improve my craft, what I'm doing. I don't want people just yesing me all day. Hey, Dean, I think you could have done that better. I think you could have reworded that question. I would love for people to do that. It's better than being in a group and talking about it, right? where nothing is getting done. So yeah, that's on that. But yeah, those who are watching here, I really appreciate it. Again, just other things you guys could be doing instead of listening to me. But yeah, so the show shall go on. I don't know for how long, but again, I've always said I will continue doing this. Two reasons. A, there's still an audience and people want to see that I provide. Two, it just becomes so toxic. And that point last month, it became so toxic. But there were a bunch of people that said, hey, don't let them dictate what you're doing and what you've done for the community. And that's kind of, so I gave it some thought and that. And again, like I mentioned, I generally do miss kind of talking to people. So, but as far as like kind of what I'm going to be doing in the future, I'm definitely going to be doing more theme episodes. The episodes where I'm going over bios and that would be somebody who has never been on before and I just have no idea about them. So that would definitely be a bio. But assuming you've been on before, it'll be a theme. Like you're talking about a theme or something that, like I can really extract from you because you're well versed in this particular area. And the demo. So in other words, those will be on the shorter end where you come in, you just you show your stuff. And here's the thing about that too is this is a good way I feel that you can get students or really promote what you do because basically what I would do is I would have you come on and you could pick whatever. So for instance, if you're a bikini guy, maybe you show Sagitas. I'm just pulling stuff out of the hat right now. If you're a KI guy, you could show maybe the 12 count and the counters, whatever, but again, that's that's it. And really those would only be going about 30 or so minutes because really it's just going to be about you showing your stuff. I mean, so that's something I'm hoping goes well. And I think it will, because if you think about it, as far as the actual interviews and bios, pretty much covered everybody. I mean, there are a few names we have not, and that's simply because A, they didn't want to come on, or through somebody else, haven't been able to reach them. And Maynard, I'm hoping, has got a couple people coming up. I don't want to mention the name yet. I almost gave it away. Sorry, Maynard. There's another awesome guy. Always been so supportive, Maynard. Yeah, so I think that's it. Again, I'm back. And those who supported me and continue, I greatly appreciate it. And we'll see where it goes from here. And that's all I can say. I wanted to wait a good month. The worst thing I wanted to do is go wait 2 weeks, come back, and then just leave again. That wouldn't have been good for myself or anybody for that matter. So I really wanted to make sure, it was, the right time, and I was in a good place, not to, repeat me just leaving, So yeah, hopefully I can continue to provide good content, enjoyable content, interviews / demos, whatever's coming up, and yeah. And for the people who are listening that are not fans of what I do, the ones that talk in your groups, if you have an issue with me, just reach out to me. Really, just get a hold of me. If you got an issue with Paulo, why don't you try reaching out to him? Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. It's like, what are you achieving, talking in your groups and just talking behind people's back, and nothing's getting accomplished. I can tell you that right now. So just food for thought. Just if you got an issue with me, something I've done, whatever, by all means, please just reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. In that. Well, that's it, folks. Again, I really appreciate it, and hopefully I will see some of you folks Thursday night at 7:30 with Growling Dog. He's kind of a fun guy. And I'm going to have to find another reason. Actually, I shouldn't say this. I can find a ton of reasons to get Paulo back on. Yeah. So I'm sure Paula will be back on soon, and then they can really talk in their groups. You know, Dean and Paula are back. Yeah, cowards. Yes, Master Carlito. Yeah, they can't exactly like. And what's really disturbing about this, Maestro Carlito, is nothing gets done. Like if you want to problem solve, go to the source so you can attempt the problem solve. I just don't understand why you got to go over there, you got to go over there, or you got to talk in your groups. It's just like go to the source. Again, those you may be jumping on late, even even if like you don't get the resolution you hope for, again, at least you can look in the mirror and say you tried. You know, I mean, isn't that better than gossiping in a group? And you call yourself martial artists and warriors? Really? And stop talking about my friends. Gray sweatpants. I gotta get you a pair of gray sweatpants. Maybe that'll be your Christmas present. Oh, wait, but if you could tell your wife to pick up you a pair, that would be, you think she would do that? Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, just reach out to the person. So I hope somebody that has an issue with me that maybe I've done and they weren't happy with something maybe I handled or spoke on, I hope this will reach out to somebody and preempt them to contact me. I really do. If one person, if this episode got one person to do that, that's a success. That would be great. So we'll see, though. We'll see. You know. Shout out to all the very patient, supportive wives. Yeah, my gosh, and I know Tracy was kind of happy this last month. Not doing any episodes. Yeah, can't lie. But she also knows that I enjoy it. I did promise her I'm not going to do the frequency what I was doing, which that was on me. You know, that was my fault. I was just doing too much, too many, and I take the hit for that. I was doing the quick bits, downloading them, posting them, test runs, the flyers, the interviews, downloading the interviews, and the next test run. I mean, it was all my fault. I mean, I didn't have to do that pace. It was a choice I made. I mean, so, but that's not what led to me leaving. I mean, but with a month off, I did realize like I'm doing too much. You can't do this pace. You know, it was definitely affecting. And of course, how you find that out? Time off, and you realize like, wow, this is what it's like. This is what you guys do when I'm doing an interview. Or this is what you guys do. What are you watching? What are you guys doing? I mean, not proud to say that, actually. But yeah, sometimes when you get time off, you see what you been missing, or you see what you've been maybe neglecting, in my case, to be quite honest. So yeah, definitely coming back, but just not in the capacity which I was doing before. You know. So yeah, but again, hopefully I'll hear from somebody who has an issue with me. All right, folks. Thanks again, and hopefully again we'll see somebody Thursday night. Thank you for those who, I'm going to go through the comments, but thank you for those who watched and commented. I appreciate all of you. I really do. All right, guys. Take care.